Hi, welcome to Eagle Recaps. Today, we will be going through a Chinese action-adventure film called Chronicles of the Ghostly Tribe. Warning, this video contains spoilers, so watch at your own risk. Watch out and take care. The movie begins with a series of narration depicting the strange discovery of fossils throughout different years in ancient China. We are then taken to the year 1979 in Mount Kunlun, China. A group of soldiers is seen working together. A young soldier named Bayi suddenly collapses after working for a long time. He is helped by a young woman named Yang Ping, who provides him with drinking water. Bayi gets back to work when suddenly his eyes fall on a giant skull being taken out of the cave. Bayi is shocked to see such a huge structure, but he is not allowed to go anywhere near it. In the next scene, we are taken inside the cave where we see more fossils of a strange creature being retrieved and polished. Soon, one of the soldiers notices the flame of the candle glowing vigorously, as if influenced by air. Suddenly, the whole mountain above the cave starts trembling, and a strong wind blows out of it, destroying everything in the vicinity. All the soldiers run for life, along with Bayi, who somehow manages to save himself from the disaster. Not sure what just happened, all the soldiers load their rifles and start aiming at the cave's entrance. Moments later, a few of the survivors emerge outside from the cave. Later that night, a special death squad, including soldiers from the army, as well as the Red Cross, is formed to investigate the mysterious explosion that occurred in the cave. Yang Ping and Bayi voluntarily join the squad, led by Professor Yang. The squad enters the cave with caution and begins investigating the area. After a while, the squad comes across a huge opening through the cave, from where they see 3 mysterious giant stone statues. Some of them even think that the cave is a haunted one. Slowly and carefully, a few of the men, including Bayi, start descending the cave. This eventually leads them to a place where they find skeletons of large ancient animals that were thought to be extinct. After exploring for a while, they finally come outside the cave through another entrance. Outside the cave, they discover a fresh, large footprint that belongs to a gigantic animal. Professor Yang immediately contacts the base and informs them of this discovery. However, the base urges the squad to continue pursuing this unknown creature while also considering their safety as a top priority. Soon, the squad encounters strange butterfly-like creatures that fly above them in a circle. Although these small creatures seem to be playful at first, they quickly become aggressive and try to attack them. One of the squad members catches one of these in his hand. Unfortunately, his whole body starts melting, and in a matter of a few seconds, the person turns into ashes. Seeing such a horrifying act in front of their eyes, the squad gets scared and starts shooting at these creatures. Just as the squad breathes a sigh of relief, a huge avalanche rapidly makes its way towards them as they run for their life. Unfortunately, few of the soldiers are buried in the avalanche, while the rest of them eventually come across a dead end. Having no options left, the remainder of the squad jump off the cliff to escape the avalanche. After a while, Bayi wakes up to find himself alive, along with Yang Ping and Professor Yang. The group soon realizes that they are the only survivors of their squad, as they gather supplies from other dead members of the squad. From here, they continue their journey, which leads them to the sacred palace of Kunlun. Bayi and the rest of the group carefully make their way towards the palace, as they all gaze in awe in front of such a huge structure. Professor Yang informs them that this palace has been long sought after in the course of human history, and it is home to secret demon-like creatures. Professor Yang then lights up the sacred candle in front of the palace, which wakes up the same butterfly-like creatures sleeping all over the palace area. Next, Professor Yang orders Bayi and Yang Ping to go inside the palace, which results in a beam of light opening a portal in the sky. The portal serves as a gateway for demons, which makes Professor Yang happy. However, Sun Fu, a friend of Bayi, becomes suspicious of Professor Yang's plan, so he shuts down the portal. When the group tries to flee, they are chased by the same flying creatures, causing Sun Qian to stay back and defend the rest. At last, Sun Qian sacrifices his life so that Bayi and others could escape. After running for a while, Bayi, Professor Yang and his daughter, Yang Ping, arrive at a waterfall opening, but they are still being chased by the flying creatures. One of these creatures touches Bayi's shoulder, forcing all 3 of them to jump down the waterfall. But their troubles have just started, as they are soon met by a gigantic sea creature that devours Yang Ping. Bayi feels helpless as he cannot do anything to save Yang Ping. Next, Bayi finds himself inside a hospital where his wounds are being treated. An officer named Han informs him that Professor Yang and his daughter's body were never found, and he is the only surviving member of the squad. In the next scene, we see Bayi arriving at Beijing Station, where he is met by a bald man named Mr. Wang. Mr. Wang is the librarian of Prince Yi's museum, which is home to many ancient archaeological objects and books. From there, Mr. Wang and Bayi go to a local restaurant to eat. Inside the restaurant, Bayi is met by his childhood friend, Wang Gai-xian, also known as Fatty Wang, who also works at the museum. Later that day, Bayi finds a book written by Professor Yang, in which he talks about the same Kunlun palace. Through the book, Bayi realizes that Professor Yang knew all about the mysteries of Mount Kunlun and the demon creatures. Bayi gives the book to Mr. Wang. Meanwhile, we see that Yang Ping is still alive, but is kept under observation because of her abnormal behavior ever since the incident in Mount Kunlun. Yang Ping's name is changed to Shirley, and she is assigned to Chendong for treatment. On the other hand, ever since Bayi discovered the book written by Professor Yang, he has started to receive the same books from a secret sender. Through these books, he learns more about the secret of the humanoid race from Demon's World. The flying creatures that killed many soldiers of Bayi's squad are known as fire bats. They are like the guards of the confidential demon tower. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and months become years. But Bayi continued his search for the demon tower and its creatures. Yet, he could not understand why he and Yang Ping were able to activate the tower, and also the motive of Professor Yang behind activating it. The story then moves forward 3 years into the future. It is revealed that Professor Yang is still alive, and he is kept under observation of Officer Han. In 1985, in Oil City of China, demonic creatures drop from the sky and start destroying the city. Meanwhile, Professor Yang learns about the incident and goes to meet Professor Han and Chendong. Later, Professor Yang goes out on a solo quest to the same Kunlun mountain once again. At the same time, Bayi feels a burning sensation on his wounds that were caused by fire bats. Suddenly, he becomes aggressive and starts controlling the objects nearby him telekinetically. He finally comes under control when Mr. Wang arrives at the scene. Mr. Wang then informs him that his blood has been contaminated by the demonic force as he was attacked by fire bats. As a result, Bayi has manifested magical powers. Bayi grows suspicious of Mr. Wang and confronts him for knowing so much about the demonic creatures. At that moment, Mr. Wang reveals his true identity and starts manifesting the surroundings according to his will. He further reveals that the library is standing upon the ancient city of Shaolin, which guards the tomb of Prince Yi. According to Mr. Wang, 10,000 years ago, a new species suddenly appeared on the earth. This new species were the heir of the demonic tower and laid waste to humankind. At that time, Bayi's ancestor, Yi Wangqi, led mankind to fight them, and humans ultimately won. After the battle, most of the demons fled from the earth, while a few of them stayed back to mate with humans and transform into humanoid forms. Since only Yi Wang's descendants can open the tower, the demons are after Bayi. In the next scene, Officer Han was informed that Shirley has regained her memories and she wants to search for his father with the help of Bayi. So Officer Han meets Bayi and informs him about Professor Yang's disappearance. At first, Bayi is hesitant to go, but when Officer Han mentions that Yang Ping is still alive, he agrees to go on the mission to find Professor Yang. However, Mr. Yang is not happy with Bayi and advises him to stay instead so that the demons won't be able to find him. Moments later, the souls of demonic creatures appear inside the building, and Mr. Wang allows Bayi to go on his mission. Before leaving, Bayi meets Fatty Wang, who requests him to take him as well. In the next scene, we see Bayi and Fatty Wang arriving at the Kakuki city of northeast China. There, Bayi reunites with Yang Ping, who doesn't seem to recognize him. Yang Ping insists her name is Shirley, and she just wants to find her father. The next day, Bayi, Fatty Wang, Yang Ping, and others begin their quest to find Yang Ping's father. On their way, Bayi tries to recall Yang Ping's memories and asks about her past, but she doesn't answer his questions. Later that night, Chen Dong hands over an encrypted letter written by Professor to Bayi. Bayi quickly decodes that the professor is on a special mission of his own. The next day, the crew is struck by a sandstorm, which makes their journey difficult. They somehow manage to evade the storm and arrive in a small town. However, upon arriving, they notice that some members of the crew are missing, including Bayi's friend, Fatty Wang. The town appears to be destroyed by the attack of the demons, and Bayi suspects that Professor Yang must have visited this place earlier. On the other hand, Fatty Wang and the other crew members wander in the desert, having no idea where they are headed to. Suddenly, A demonic creature appears behind them and starts chasing them. The creature manages to kill them one by one, while Fatty Wang makes a narrow escape from that area. He finally reunites with the main crew and informs them about the demon that he encountered. Bayi urges everyone to leave the place immediately, but Chen Dong is not ready to go. Eventually, everyone decides to stay, but soon they are all startled by the growling sound of the demons. After a while, a bus arrives in front of them, which scares everyone, so they aim their rifles at it. Suddenly, a demon jumps from behind, but the crew manages to take it down. But moments later, another one of them appears and Shirley starts pursuing it. This causes Bayi to go after her. In a short interval of time, a large group of demons arrive at the city, which forces the crew to hide in the building. Meanwhile, Bayi arrives at the entrance of a secret passage in search of Shirley. He eventually comes across the tomb of Prince Yi, which was previously mentioned by Mr. Wang. Outside the cave, the demons become aware of the crew, and a fight breaks out between them. Inside the tomb, Bayi is attacked by one of the demons, but he is saved by Shirley, who seems to have the ability to control the demons. Shirley then places the unconscious body of Bayi inside the prince's tomb and starts manifesting candles around it. Soon, Bayi regains consciousness and starts calling out Mr. Wang for help. Suddenly, Bayi is able to travel through space and time. He arrives at the demon tower and learns that the demon that killed Yang Ping several years ago brought her back for resurrection, and Yang Ping can control them. In the present time, we see Shirley commanding a herd of demons to hunt down the crew of Chen Dong. Back at the demon tower, Bayi meets an entity who informs him that Yang Ping has been cursed, and the curse can only be lifted if Bayi and Shirley open the demon tower. The entity allows Bayi to return back so that he can save his crew members. Later, Shirley herself saves Bayi from the demons, but Bayi shoots her 3 times in the belly to kill her. The death of Shirley prompts all the demons to go away, and the demon tower collapses by itself. Bayi cannot afford to lose Yang Ping once again, so he carries her body and puts it inside Prince Yi's tomb. In a flashback scene, it is revealed that Yang Ping and her mother are the direct descendants of demons. It is also revealed that Yang Ping used most of her demonic powers to revive the members of the Death Squad after their fall, including Bayi and Professor Yang. In the last scene, we see the remaining members of the crew riding camels and continuing on their quest to find Professor Yang, while a demon watches over them from a distance. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and turn on notification, as it helps the channel. Take care, and goodbye.